Welcome to Your Magnetic Purpose. This season, we're cutting through creative blocks, working with your influence, not against it, using systems like human design, astrology, and everything in between as a tool and not a rule. Do you ever feel like you're showing up one way, but people react to you in a completely different way? Like you think you're being all cool and confident, but someone says that you seem intimidating? Or you feel like you're being really laid back, but people just assume that you don't care? That gap between how you see yourself and how others experience you is where your influence either clicks or it gets lost. If you want to make an impact, whether it's in your art, your leadership, or your brand, you have to know both sides of the equation. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Your Magnetic Purpose. I am your host, Ashley, and today we are breaking down all the ways that you want to rethink how you express yourself and how to just gently fine tune it so that you don't lose what makes you, you. So, why this matters for your influence? If you only focus on how you think you're showing up, you might be missing out on how people are actually receiving your energy. And if you only focus on how others perceive you, you risk losing your authenticity by molding yourself to fit other people's expectations. So, what is the key? It's in the self-awareness. Knowing both perspectives so you can fine tune your expression and make sure that you are showing up and your message is landing the way you want it to land. There's two layers to this system, and in this series, we are going to break down these two layers of your influence. How you see yourself in your natural way of thinking, processing, and moving through the world, and how others see you, how they experience you, and how they take you in, even before they fully know who you are. And where the magic lies is what happens and when you learn to bridge these two together. So let's break it down into some common ways that this shows up. First, we have the deep thinker versus the guide. You might see yourself as someone who needs to figure things out, get the details right, and know everything before you take action. You want certainty, depth, and mastery. But to others, you might come across as someone that they know they can learn from, even before you know you're ready. They see you as someone with all of the answers and someone who's done the research, the one they want to trust. So how can you harness this influence? Well, stop waiting for it to feel like an expert answer. People already see you as knowledgeable, so own it. Instead of keeping everything to yourself, experiment with sharing what you do know, even if you feel like there's more to learn. Be intentional about how you present your insights. Be clear, direct, and engaging so people will actually absorb what you have to offer. Next, we have the experimenter versus the example. Do you see yourself as someone who needs to try things, mess it up, learn the hard way, and then adjust? You don't want to be seen as a polished expert. You're in the process of figuring things out in real time. But to others, you look like someone who is living proof of what works and what doesn't. People don't just see your struggles, they see your breakthroughs. They're watching you to see what happens when you take the risk. So how do you harness this influence? You want to share your journey, not just in the destination, but people are learning from you whether you realize it or not throughout your journey. So let go of the fear that you need to get it right first. Your influence in the process is so valuable, and it's not just in the end result. That is what people are learning and absorbing from you. Show the lessons in what you do, not just your highlight reel or all of the amazing things that happen to you, but the why behind your choices. This gives people the bravery to do it themselves. And then we have the visionary versus the disruptor. You see yourself as someone with bold ideas, a unique way of seeing things, and a drive to do things differently. But to others, you can come across as disruptive, unconventional, and even a little bit rebellious. Someone who will love it, someone who will want to know more about it, is going to be the person that connects with you and who can learn from you. So, how do you harness this influence? It's in your own originality, but communicated in a way that helps people see the value in what you're doing. You're going to want to expect a little bit resistance in the beginning. Big ideas often take time to land. Your job is not to stay consistent, but it is to stay the course, not to water yourself down, but be the truest, boldest expression of yourself. Position yourself in spaces where people are ready for innovation and for change and upheaval. Not everyone will get it, and that's totally okay. They don't need to. And then finally, we have the connector versus the authority. You see yourself as someone who loves people, who builds relationships and thrives in collaboration. But to others, you might come across as someone they look up to, even if you don't see it that way yourself, or you can't really see what they see in your natural abilities. But you are here to bring people together, and that makes you feel really approachable. But it also gives you a lot of power. So how do you harness this influence? Recognize that your network is a part of your influence. Use it intentionally. Step into leadership roles, even if they don't feel like you're ready for it or leadership doesn't feel fully like you. Leadership is your calling. People naturally trust your ability to connect the dots. Make sure that your message is clear because people are already listening. So, how do we bridge that gap between perception and reality of this self-awareness? It isn't about changing who you are, it's about redefining how you express who you are. When you understand how people naturally see you, you can choose whether you want to lean in, shift away, or clarify it. So ask yourself, where do I feel misunderstood and how do I show up? How do people describe me in a way that I didn't even expect? What would happen if I embraced the way that others see me instead of resisting it? So what's next with all of this? We've had 3 episodes now. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to episode 1 of season 2 and episode 2. This is a 3-part series, and we are talking about the energy that you bring to a room, how you communicate your influence, and now how others are experiencing you versus how you experience yourself. Once you've gone through all this, please head over to my website, yourmagneticpurpose.com, and book a live one-on-one reading, and we can really get down to the nitty-gritty of how your energy and your influence is showing up in the room before you even say a word. There's a lot of great resources on that website too, and some little fun things to play around with in the blogs. So until next time, I am your host, Ashley Hood. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. For more resources and tools to explore human design, tarot, and astrology, head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com and book a live one-on-one reading or download your free chart. Remember, the more that you align with your purpose, the more opportunities you attract.